All right, man, welcome back to another video. Hope your day is going good. And in today's video, Atlanta's problems are worse than we thought. Video by O'Shea Duke Jackson. Yeah, man. So Atlanta's problems are apparently getting worse. And we know we've covered Atlanta's problems plenty of times this year. Man, by the way, shout out to y'all boys that's been watching the channel all year. If y'all got us in your recaps, man, go ahead, post us up. We're going to repost y'all on IG, man. Anybody that shows us love, man, you already know we appreciate y'all, man. To the gang. T-Raw.
Yeah, we know O'Shea like to talk about the clapping going on in Atlanta, so let's see what he got to say about this.
Sodom and Gomorrah. And basically, this was a city that God destroyed because of many issues that they were having. Abraham tries to make a deal with God, but God says he would only spare the city if he could find 10 righteous people in it. And of course, it didn't happen, and Sodom and Gomorrah went.
Hey.
And it's interesting because I was actually looking to do a whole nother topic when this came up.
Man, Atlanta is modern day Sodom and Gomorrah, man. I'm talking about, you can just smell the sin. You can just smell the sin when you walk into these lounges, these clubs.
You think so? You think you can smell the sin?
Smell the sin. You can see it.
Are y'all smelling the sin over there?
You guys heard it. Atlanta is...
I ain't gonna lie, I never been to Atlanta and I feel the sin from here. I won't lie to you. Some nigga talk about Atlanta, I'm like, something happened? Something crazy happened? I don't even want to get too in depth because I don't want y'all boys to think I'm trying to say something I'm not.
Is the real Sodom and Gomorrah. But he isn't the only person to say this.
Yeah, so I decided to move from Atlanta to California. If you haven't checked out my You'll Regret Moving to Atlanta video, that shit is like over 100,000.
Hold on, but Cali is not a better destination. You going across the state, like thousands of miles. Why you just go to Houston?
I don't know. I'm guessing Cali better than Atlanta, though. From what
Everybody just keep leaving comments, and you know, there's people who are from Atlanta who are trying to convince me that the reason why Atlanta has turned into Sodom and fucking Gomorrah is because of the implants that have moved there. But I tried to tell these ratchet Atlanta natives that Atlanta was dusty before we got there.
And then there is a guy who was so excited about Atlanta clubs getting shut down. But look at his caption.
I don't like that they're putting that Atlanta's turning into Sodom and Gomorrah. Do you know what Sodom and Gomorrah is? Right? And so you're saying that Atlanta is due for destruction? Is that what you're saying? You know, these religious people be taking things to the extreme sometimes.
I remember in July,
what's going on,
bang,
man?
bang down in Atlanta. And on one particular street, Edgewood, 11 people got bang, bang, bang down in one night. 11.
One of the things that is interesting about Atlanta is that there is a thriving LGBTQ scene there.
Something that I've always found really fascinating about growing up in Atlanta is the fact that there have been so many events and spaces catered to gay men, and not just white gay men. I'm talking about black gay men. Like, there are active bars that have been around for over decades that is catering and specific to black gay men.
And this is interesting because although Atlanta is sexually free and sexually liberal, also is a part of the Bible Belt in the South with a lot of strong ties.
That's just the stuff I don't like right there. PDA. I'm not a very big PDA guy. I was. Some females listening to this would be like, what? What are you talking about? I was in the past. But as I got older and I kind of matured, I'm kind of like, man, I don't really need everybody up in my business. You feel me?
Yeah.
And so PDA, even between heterosexual people, can get a little bit too much. I know in certain countries, certain parts of the world, it's viewed differently. But I just think that that's the issue. It feels forced upon us when it's another group, almost like to try to say, we're happier than you.
Yeah.
Trying to convince us of your happy lifestyle when you don't see heterosexual people being as flaunty They're not, we're not as flaunty. We don't feel the need to swing our arms while we're holding each other's arms.
Yeah.
You know, it's granted some females get a little excited, but you kind of notice a pattern. That's what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm saying? And that's just my issue with it. Like, outside of that, I'm just like, yeah, bro, I don't care. But why you gotta be an eye shot of me, feeling like you're coming, I gotta deal with having to turn my head like, goddamn, nigga.
I see historic Christianity, especially in the black community. So as much as you have people that are living their life, doing whatever they want, Freaknik and other sorts of things, you also have a very strong, devout base of Christians who are in Atlanta. And when they talk about the current state of a place like Atlanta, they are going to mention this problem with homosexuality. And this young lady has just talked about it, that it's very, very out in the open. It's a very big place for gay black men to meet. And so when Christians refer to Sodom and Gomorrah, they will say, oh yeah, this is like Sodom and Gomorrah because it's Atlanta. And the reason why that is because of the homosexuality, male or female, that's in the city. And they'll talk about it in Genesis 19. Now there is a part of the scriptures in which there were some male angels that came to the city, and the men of Sodom and Gomorrah tried to forcibly get with these guys. And although that is homosexuality, the bigger picture is that this shows a culture where violence and domination were normalized. And that's what the first guy was saying. He doesn't even like to go out to the club anymore because people are just shooting and doing whatever they want. And also, this could count as being inhospitable or cruel to strangers. Then again,
I can't blame you.
And so this is the bigger picture here when you're talking about Sodom and Gomorrah, not necessarily LGBTQ behavior, but what we are talking about is a lack of order in Atlanta. And if you're a person that is from a different generation, especially if you're a little bit older, of course, you've always had problems.
I see where you're going.
This sort of
they saying it's just like chaos everywhere.
In Atlanta has led to this.
The scariest thing about Atlanta having 20,000 cases of HIV reported is that it's only the 20,000 that's reported.
We've all heard about the glaring HIV and AIDS rates in Atlanta. And of course, this is why people are...
I don't know why you said it like 20,000 people isn't like a possibility that you can walk into one of them just walking on the street. I mean, what's the population in Atlanta? Let's see here.
Jay's Stew TV says, at Vlogbot, what is the population in Atlanta?
Ayo, J Stew TV. Atlanta's popping with around 500,000 peeps just inside the city limits, but the whole metro area packs over 6 million folks. It's like a party that never stops. ATL represent.
500,000 just inside the city limits. So it's 20,000 yeah, it's not really a lot. But that shit gonna spread if y'all just approaching that shit too passively, though. I ain't gonna lie to you. She said it like it was nothing.
Sodom and Gomorrah.
20,000 is a lot.
The arrogance, the pride, the extreme wickedness.
But with 6 million folks in total,
clapping as it is,
it's really like a little blimp.
And the corruption that has spread mainly throughout the entire society is a result of God's wrath on Atlanta. But then, again, there's a wider context. Of course, you're going to have scammers. Of course, you're going to have people doing whatever they want to do in any kind of city. I mean, it happens in bigger cities. It happens in smaller cities. But then we have to look at the wider context. And one of the big problems is...
Okay, I'm going to say this, and I hope you understand because I'm talking to us with love. But let me tell you something. What's going on in Mississippi and what's going on in Florida is the beginning, but it is because we have been so distracted with telling our kids, go play football. Oh, go be a rapper. We're giving them mentors like Cardi B and all these entertainers and actors. And we are not...
OG, you just heard that? You just waking up, OG.
Now, this brother It's
OG
talking
just
about
woke up.
Florida and Mississippi.
Been talking
which
about this.
isn't
OG
even in
should have
Atlanta,
brought you
but
on the
it's talking about
podcast.
similar issues that are closer to them. And this is important because he's saying, listen, all of the kids, they also want to indulge in this behavior. They're not looking to be, fathers or mothers or, people that can benefit society. They want to become part of the problems themselves. Rappers, entertainers, engaging in the same behavior that is also seen in the Sodom and Gomorrah examples that we've heard of earlier. And we also know that Atlanta is a transient city. And so people that come from Florida, Mississippi, or other parts of America may also come to Atlanta because Atlanta rewards these sorts of entertainers. It has a unique entertainment market that only a few places in the country can claim, like Los Angeles or like New York. And so if you're a person and you want to basically deal in debauchery, well, Atlanta is the best place for you because you can actually get on and get a lot of money if you do that. And now, as a Black community, people are complaining about what they see now, okay? This is something that's important. And again, when you can't describe it, automatically that place becomes Sodom and Gomorrah. But I want to talk about something that's even more interesting. Elon Musk's father, Elon Musk, said something that was profound the other day.
The big concern at the moment, and why I think South Africa is a big talking point in the US right now, is America in the next 20 years will become, for the first time in its history, a minority white country.
Well, that will be a very, very bad thing to happen. You want to see the US go down? Why? Oh, you don't like cars and electric cars, and you don't like technology, or what is it? You want to go back to the jungle, or?
Whoa. Why, Will, why am I surprised? This man fathered Elon Musk. Why are we surprised?
Elon Musk talked about the possibility of the United States losing the majority of its white population.
First of all, I'm 100% sure that if you give us enough time, there's going to be Black people inside of robotics and astronomics and all them tech, all them scientific jargon words that I don't know, doing shit and making shit. There's going to be Black astronauts walking on the moon. If there hasn't already been, I'm pretty sure there has been.
Has been already.
What would happen? And he's talking about going back to.
See how he's playing on this game?
Going back.
We've been on the moon,
jungle,
nigga.
as he will.
No, a lot of the inventions that he using and his son using was good about us.
This is what you're gonna get. And what I'm about to say is controversial.
You know what's the craziest thing is they try to take those things from us too. Like I heard a video of somebody talking about, George Washington Carver didn't really invent peanut butter. He didn't. He just thought of the recipe and he told someone what to do and they played around with it. I'm like, is that not inventing it, bro?
What? I guess we just go
to Black Wall Street. And I do understand that
we're gonna describe what it is, but we're not gonna say
like
what it is.
Texas, where you see, very talented Blacks and hardworking African Americans. And of course, you'll find them also in Atlanta. But for the most part, when you see Black cities, when you see Black leadership, whether it is in Philadelphia, whether it is Chicago, Baltimore, I've lived in DC before. You're gonna have somebody tie that particular city to what is happening in Sodom and Gomorrah, okay? Because every city suffers with these same problems. The issue is that when you live in Black cities, these things are way more out there in the open. And basically, no matter what you see, this is what the outcome typically is. Most Black cities are Democratic. They have an issue with crime. They have an issue with infrastructure development, low taxes, the whole nine. In other words, when you talk about these cities, you're basically saying that Black people cannot lead themselves. We have no ability to lead ourselves or develop ourselves for the community. That is exactly what people are saying. And so when we refer to Black-led cities as Sodom and Gomorrah, we're pretty much implying that what we do is evil. For some of us, that should be a red flag, because I never hear of anybody saying Boise, Idaho is Sodom and Gomorrah, although Boise would have its own problems. Salt Lake City is Sodom and Gomorrah. Las Vegas, we already know what happens in Las Vegas. What 11 sounds? It's Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yeah, Las Vegas, of course.
It's only the places where we live.
Yeah, that's true. We do call Vegas City of Sin, but you don't hear nobody say, "Oh man, I'm running from Vegas." Everybody say, "I'm running to Vegas. Let me go blow some cheese."
In where we stay,
blow some cheese on some cheeks and some machines.
You would believe that the same reasons why God destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, the same reasons that He would do it for Atlanta, and this would really get us on board to understand something. We are the only ones that can fix these problems. We are the only ones who can understand what they are. But at first, we have to admit that these problems are our own. As much as we can blame anybody else for it, and of course, we've had help in our destruction. But these are the problems. As Blacks, we tend to not want to talk about as much, or blame other people. But when people are talking about Black cities, especially Black American, when you hear it with DC, you hear it with Chicago, this is not uncommon. To refer to a Black-led city as a Sodom or Gomorrah issue or an analogy is the most disrespectful thing that you can do. But the worst problem is that if these things are true, now I know somebody can always say, you can find that anywhere in the world. It's true. When they find it with you and me, and when we have the least ability to make mistakes, it looks bad. It looks bad for every Black city. Memphis, Little Rock, Washington, D.C., Baltimore, Chicago, St. Louis, okay? For people to say that we cannot govern ourselves, and it's gotten this bad that we need some level of help. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy O'Shea Jackson back at it again.
Yeah, man. Shout out O'Shea. Good vid. What do you want me to say? I don't know.
Yeah, it's crazy, bro, how this video started by cheek clapping and it turned into race at the end. I don't know, bro. Every day we just keep saying more and more race videos, so.
Yeah.
I don't know, bro. I guess racism is coming back, bro. It's making a return, bro. But, we as a people, we can fight against it. You feel me? I feel like this is just more stuff to keep us controlled. You feel me? So, we all just gotta stick together, bro. And we can make the world a better place by playing into all this racism and all this other stuff that's going on. We just reversing the cycle. We're not advancing. We're whatever the opposite of that is.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Y'all already know. Y'all made it to the end of another video. Love y'all. Great for y'all, man. Been the rest of the videos on the channel. Y'all already know. Get y'all next one. Yeah.